Over the top with Chad and Tony, talking about new movies and wrestling. I might just drop the team hating on me, Gene. DJ keeps the party going. Brandon E brings the heat. We don't know how to speak. Running wild on you, brother. We're over the top. Rocking it back to the vintage scene. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central. With epic thumbnails from the vintage of Bossy. Gonna bring you the best. Legends you remember from the ring and silver screen. We're over the top. Get ready for a good time.
Bow! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chad Arms, a.k.a. Chetty Bobby Olembody.
Hello, my name is Tony, a.k.a. Friday the 14th, and I am happy right now. Cut to the next guy.
Oh, it's me. It's the hot M.I.C. I'm Hot Mike Chan.
I thought it was tough to follow this guy now. Now somebody's got to follow that.
This guy right here.
And I'm BJ the DJ.
Welcome back.
This is the motherfucker right here.
He is him.
Date of birth, February 38th, 1903. My name is Eugene Edmonds the First, biatches.
He's a vampire.
He is too.
Please say the Eugene.
First name you, last name Gene.
Eugene, baby. Hey,
Worst name ever.
No.
Oh, well,
I got you beat, dog.
It's very rare that I'm worse, but yeah.
First name Sherman, middle name Billy, middle name Jack.
Motherfucker got two middle names. First, two middles, and a last.
I never remember the day I found out that was your name.
Oh, dude, when we found that out,
I'll trade you Eugene all day. Dog. I'll trade you for it all day.
That's greatness right there. We got the 5-5 here. 5-5. I can't say it.
The Jackson 5?
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right, cool.
Jackson 5.
I'm Tito. I'm Tito.
Do I really? Who am I, Tito?
I'm Tito.
Jermaine? Who am I?
Love
I always
you,
like
man.
to know my role. Who am I?
we're the Jackson 5. I'm Samuel L. Motherfucker.
I'm Joe.
You are Joe.
You want to be Randy Jackson from American Idol?
Sure.
All right.
You
It's a no for me for Hollywood, dog.
That's all I had. And you're not going to get Randy Jackson's autograph.
Oh.
Shout out to the sponsors, man. We got Trouble Spirits, we got Revolution One Media, the Gaggle of Wrestlers, and Icebreakers Duo is unofficially sponsoring these.
Unofficially
Oh, and
sponsoring
Yeah, they're
this.
addictive as
And
fuck.
great
bro.
value water.
That whole thing will be gone.
So we're banking episodes. So we're actually fixing to shoot a 3-piece episode. So the next 3 episodes, you see this one, and the next 2.
And I will be wearing this same shirt in all 3 episodes.
Hell yeah.
Just
Come at me.
Hey,
Come
I'll
at
change
me.
my hat, but either way, look.
Nothing wrong with
I've
that.
been wanting to do this style episode
Hey, he's a
since
boss.
yeah. Since I started doing this. When me and him decided to do this show, I've always wanted to do pay-per-view breakdowns because we haven't had to do that yet. We've done best of this, that, and third, but I think these are going to be a lot of fun to do, but whether they're good, bad, or ugly, because you can spend more time on them. And it's going to be WrestleMania 3.
Yeah. We decided to skip the first few because thought those would be boring enough, but we're going back and this is the first time to watch WrestleMania 3 for me in a minute, and
It's tough as an adult.
It was, man.
that intro song, that
It was so. The first one was the first WrestleMania. Just to kind of bring them up to speed, the first WrestleMania was monumental in the sense of rocket. You know, the mainstream like music and entertainment, and then wrestling.
Yeah.
And then part two, WrestleMania 2 was a weird one because it was the 3 different locations with the closed circuit.
I thought it was a good idea. It just wasn't executed
No,
properly.
it was just ahead of its time.
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
way too ahead of its time.
Yeah,
It was what they do now with night 2, like 2 nights. It's similar. Yeah, similar concept.
So this one, WrestleMania 3, was March 29th, 1987. It was in the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
Allegedly, 93,178 paid customers. Paid tickets. There's been stuff on the internet about that being padded.
Yeah.
That's
it's
always
definitely
been a WWE
Oh yeah, till this
allegation.
day. Till
I
this
mean, that
day.
opening shot when it comes in after that cheesy ass intro music and everything, when it's showing the whole arena with
looks
the ring,
packed.
I mean, it looks. There's at least 85.
What does that place hold?
I'm not sure, to be
I
honest.
do
with
think
you.
78,000.
Was it really? Oh,
That's what.
okay.
That's what it says
But that's
here.
just stadium seats.
That's
Then
just
you got the
stadium
floor
seats.
seats.
Yeah.
Attendance,
Visually, still to this
78,000.
day,
Yeah.
though, for me, still to this day, I'm talking every event in the history of professional wrestling. Visibly to me, it still looks like the coolest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fan.
Oh yeah.
I've
no,
never
for
seen
sure.
anything like it.
Yeah.
Never.
And you had not my favorite duo, but it was one of my favorite duos. The commentators on this one, you had Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura. They're always great going back
yeah.
and forth.
And you had Bob Euchre
You
mixed
had,
in there.
you had Bob
And
Huger.
you had Mary Hart.
Horrible.
No. So she opens up, but she says, "I've always wanted to stand in the booth with the body, the gorilla, and the unit." That's what she said.
She did.
She opened it up
She
with
hit him
that.
up with. She hit him up with a. Oh damn!
Okay, here we go.
All right, Mr. Baseball, I see you, brother.
Now this. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to go back to Bob Euchre. I mean, we all know him from Major League and all that stuff, but he's an amazing announcer. He was the Brewers announcer,
Yeah.
lead commentator for years and everything. But it was just a nice little mix in with it. I mean, because when did Major League came out? What, 80?
90s. Late 80.
88,
late
I
80s.
think
Yeah.
maybe.
The first one later. Yeah, it was 80.
Yeah.
Late 80s and all that. So, because it's around that time.
Just a bit outside.
But yeah, he was fun to mix in there. But yeah, like you said, it wasn't the typical crew they were using because Bobby Heenan was involved so much in WrestleMania.
And that was not
Oh,
the
dude, he
national
was-
anthem. That was America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
America's View by Aretha.
Which
Yeah.
she killed.
Rumor has it
absolutely
she's
killed
still
it.
singing it to this day.
She almost didn't make it because there was a lot of traffic, apparently.
Would that mean
trying to come
yeah,
in? Yeah.
I mean,
And she
because
flew
like you
in on a
said,
helicopter. I mean, she killed it. Aretha killed
She
it.
killed
She
it.
did,
Yeah.
and then you had, of course, you had the Vince coming down WrestleMania 3, you know,
Yeah.
which was great. But then when we're going to break down the matches, but like we've got them on the phones and stuff.
yeah.
As far as match quality, this WrestleMania to me, other than one, was a turd fest.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean,
Yeah.
it started. We'll just go ahead and get into it. It starts out with a tag team match. You got the Can-Am Connection, which is Rick Martel and motherfucking Z-Man.
I
Tom
had no
Zink.
clue Tom Zink was in WWE.
Yeah,
I had
dude.
no clue.
Yeah.
Can-Am connection.
So,
I was like, how did I miss that?
and then they were squaring off against Bob Orton and Magnificent Morocco with Mr. Fuji. So here's the thing that's notable: WrestleMania 1, Cowboy Bob Orton's the main event.
yeah. Yeah.
WrestleMania 3, 2 years later, he is opening WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's the first thing I noticed when I.
It's kinda like a reverse
and he was
what
in the
Daniel
ring
Bryan did.
already. They didn't even give him an
Yeah,
entrance. or
no
nothing.
entrance, nothing. They didn't. No carts for
Yeah.
I wonder.
yeah, it's true.
I thought the same thing. I wondered why he didn't have a longer something program with Hogan or Savage or somebody like that. Something had to have
He
happened.
probably pissed Vince off.
Something had to have happened.
Yeah,
He was a good
probably. It
I
may
mean,
have
was
been
that
he
around
may
the
have been
Barrio
battling an
thing
injury.
also?
Didn't
Was
he
he
have an
maybe-
injury too? Didn't he have something going
Yeah,
on?
he had an injury.
I think that was a lot of the stuff with Cowboy Bob.
I mean, Hogan wasn't really wrestling anybody of normal size back then either.
But you know, talk about your boy Bad News Brown though. He was brought in to feud with Hogan,
Correct.
and Hogan was like, "That ain't gonna work, brother."
Correct.
And so,
well,
you
we
know,
learned later in life why Hogan and why that didn't
oh,
work.
yeah,
for
we
him.
know. Yeah, we see why.
Yeah, but so
a
this
piece of shit.
This match was this match was terrible.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to say it was terrible.
I will say it. It's terrible.
The finish
don't have
of the
to say
match
it.
was the old school. Hey, I'll kneel down behind you, and you're gonna trip me
Dude,
down.
it was the finish is horrible, dude.
BJ,
I mean,
honestly,
he literally
I don't
lays
think
down
you-
behind him, and he trips over him in that pin.
Like it was they was getting back at the bully and Christmas story. Or
I don't
some
think
shit.
you would remember really Z-Man, Tom Zink being there long. So I think literally after WrestleMania 3, there was some kind of issue with them, so they were let go.
Yeah.
So like it was literally they were there for
I
like,
had no
Yeah.
clue, and he looked really small.
Yeah.
But they were. I will say this about the Can-Am Express though. They really did a good job of like the synchronized tag team stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were
That
too.
was innovative at the time, right?
The
They
double
did-
kick monkey flip.
Right, they did a bunch of stuff together that like the Rockers and people like
Yeah.
that would
Yeah,
become famous
for sure.
for.
I agree.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
I
to
agree.
see. Unoriginal name though, because I mean we had the Midnight Express, the Oriental Express, the U.S. Express. And then we
Nothing
got-
like the Midnight Express though,
Tag team-
BJ.
Who was the tag team that was Rick Martel and Tito?
Strike Force.
Yeah,
Strike
that was
Force.
Strike Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Strike Force.
So the finish,
Wow.
in a almost 6-minute barn burner, the Can-Am Connection win by the fucking horrible spot.
Yeah, horrible
Where dude
pinfall.
lays
The
down, he
okey doke.
trips.
Yep.
Yeah, dude trips him.
Okey doke.
I
And
mean,
they ended up
just
getting
no
the
other
win
way
on
to
that one,
describe
but it
it.
was
terrible.
not the greatest way to start it off.
No.
And then you're like, well,
People were still
Gotta
trying to
get better.
into the
It's
stadium.
gotta
It's
get
got to get
better.
better from here, you know. This
well, speaking of Billy Jack, the second match of the night was Billy Jack Haynes
The battle of the full Nelson.
versus Hercules. And this is the
with
first
Bobby.
time we
This
see
is the
Bobby Heenan.
first appearance of Bobby, and then we get the cart. We actually get the carts for this.
Yeah.
this match.
yeah.
And
I'll say-
Bobby put in work during this one.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
say,
yeah.
I'll say
He
this, bro.
Him and Jimmy Hart put in
Bobby-
some
yeah,
work
they
in
put
this
in
pay per
work.
view.
I'll say this too. Billy Jack Haynes was motherfucking over, bro.
I didn't realize how.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
was.
didn't realize how over he was either because he got a pop.
But this
when he
match
should-
was
Well,
slow,
I watched this.
man.
I watched this WrestleMania again right after I watched the Dark Side of Billy Jack Haynes, the one that you know they've taken off some of the platforms, but they were talking about how over he was then, and I just don't ever remember because him being over was about 2 years before I got into it. I
Yeah,
got into
yeah.
it WrestleMania 5.
Yeah, because I
That's
mean,
when I started
we're
watching.
we're pretty much 4 years, except for chances, a wee little tot at this point in age.
He wasn't even born when we were recording this episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I'm with you. I remember WrestleMania 7 was my introduction. It was my first.
I would say
WrestleMania.
Warrior Hogan was probably my first.
Yeah.
I think WrestleMania 5 was for me, but this was the first one I've rented.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I do remember.
'Cause,
I remember being so scared of Andre, I would cover my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man, it
was
wasn't
slow.
It was slow. It was just, I mean, Hercules. He's big as fuck, but he couldn't really do it.
Worst finish, double count out. Worst
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah, there was a lot of that fucking going on in this WrestleMania.
This is like, so,
I think
then-
they did a good job sticking to the full Nelson challenge though. Like
They did.
They worked it pretty good.
but he worked it
was
on the
just-
outside, and
yeah.
I was like, you're going to get counted out, stupid. Like, get in the ring. Like, what are
Yeah,
you
they
doing?
both got counted. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this was, y'all did a
It's
match.
over?
I do agree though about the
It don't
crowd
get
loving
better
him.
after this either, though. It does not get any better.
Well,
I got a question. Was that Shane McMahon reffing that first match of the night?
you know, if he was, I missed that.
I know
Because
him and-
it wasn't Hebner or any of the
Was it
Hebners and
Joey
everything.
Morella, maybe.
I don't
That
know,
was the
but
Gorilla
it,
Monsoon's son that got killed in a car accident.
it was a younger, dark-haired referee.
It
Joey-
was
it was
Joey
Joey
Morella.
Morella.
I'm going to have to go. Okay, yeah.
He got killed in a really tragic
I didn't
car
know that was
accident.
Gorilla's son.
I
Wow.
never
Fun
knew that
fact.
either. Okay.
So-
Look at you.
Here's another one that's worth noting. So the third match, the last match ended in a double count out. It was
Yeah.
not even 8 minutes long, but it felt like it was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was exactly
just slow.
7 minutes and 44 seconds.
So the next one is like the novelty like match where it's like King Kong Bundy, and then like the little fellas match. So
Yeah.
it's King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook
Haiti kid.
against Hillbilly Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. Now,
Little Beaver.
bro, but here's another one. Here's another one though. The first match of the night, you had Bob Orton who main evented WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
And then this one, fucking
King
King
Kong.
Kong Bundy headlined against Hogan WrestleMania 2, and now look what he's doing.
Yeah.
The next year,
He's in the
bro.
joke match.
You
Was
talk
it
about
around the
somebody.
time he did that movie with Richard Pryor? Was that around the same time?
It may have been.
Yeah.
What?
That's probably
Yeah,
why
yeah.
he
He-
got
I say
demoted.
Vince hated when people did anything outside.
Yeah.
He did that, and he was in a lot of episodes of or several episodes of Married with Children.
And
too,
it was
yeah.
like once Hogan got done with them.
They were done.
yeah, it's like
Right.
he
That's
took
the
all
point.
the air out of whatever they had.
But
and
I
just-
tell you what, you talk about people being over. Hillbilly Jim was over.
I didn't
yeah.
realize
He
that.
was, boy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
He
And I
was.
didn't realize
First wrestling autograph I ever got.
Hillbilly Jim.
that dude is a monster of
Yeah.
a man.
He's
too.
a big old
Yeah.
man.
Dude,
If I was
when
them,
he
I
was-
would have built. Like if I was WWE now, I would have somehow played off Braun Strowman being related to Hillbilly Jim. Like they could have ran. That would have been money.
When he
Yeah.
was standing
That was
next to
money.
King Kong
Hillbilly
Bundy,
Strowman.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean,
And
that's
it-
a big pair of overalls.
Yeah, and it was other than Hillbilly Jim getting the pop like initially, like I mean this match.
It was terrible.
Hey,
Nobody
Lil
cared
Beaver
about
put
this
in some work in that match.
Hey,
You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
Little Beaver's
He
So-
looked 80 and 16 at the same time.
Euchre had a line during that match. He goes, "There's a whole lot of beaver all over the place."
I mean, being the unit that he is, though, I mean, there's no problem.
That's euchre right there.
The unit gets beaver.
Unit gets beaver.
Well, Hillbilly Jim and their team won by DQ. It was like a 3-minute match. I mean, it was
it was
a waste of King Kong Bundy and
You know what? Now you think about it, I never thought about that. He was in the main event, WrestleMania 2. And WrestleMania 1, he beat Special Delivery Jones in 9
he did
seconds.
in 9 seconds.
What an interesting 3
Because
years
they
for
wanted
King
to
Kong
build him
Bundy.
up
Go down
to
a
make
lot,
it
yes.
valuable for Hogan. So once Hogan's
Yeah.
done, gone.
That's a great.
That is a very
That's a great
good point.
point. Chance brought up.
That's a very good
Once
point.
Hogan's done, he's done.
And here's the next match. So we're 3 matches in, and there hadn't been a lot. There hadn't been a lot so far. Right.
No,
It's gonna be the theme of this whole.
Right. The fourth one, we had Harley Race, who's legend, but this is towards the tail end of his career. He only had a couple of years after this.
King Harley
With
Race.
Bobby Heenan again, and they got Moolah with him on this one
God, that's
against Junkyard Dog, who was
How come he didn't have anybody with him?
Over.
Right, 3-on-1, and a loser must bow match.
Yeah.
You know what I put?
And guess who wins?
Yeah,
my notes on here, I put Harley Race ruined his legacy going to WWE.
I think
He
that
went
King,
from
that King
60-minute matches with Flair,
Yeah.
headlining Starcades,
Yeah.
to 3-minute matches with Junkyard Dog at WrestleMania 3.
in a future episode that we're going to be recording today, that'll be coming out. I'm going to say something about another wrestler that's exact what you just said.
Yeah, man, they just played hot potato during that time frame with like being the king.
Yeah.
But Race was like
There's only one king.
Harley Race was
His
a
name's Jerry
bruiser.
Lawler.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Harley Race was a bruiser. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hell of a wrestler.
And he came over here, and it was just like with a lot of those guys, man.
He's from,
It was
Dusty and all those guys, like they come over to WWE, and it's just.
I
like,
think they did Dusty the.
I don't
Oh,
understand the
that's-
hatred between the
is that what you-
NWA/WCW because he didn't treat the what's the name wrestlers like that. What's the names?
The WCW guys.
Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. The wrestlers from Minnesota.
Oh, the AWA.
He didn't do the AWA wrestlers that way though. Because I mean, he built that whole. A lot of that WrestleMania 3 major roster
Was AWA
Yeah.
guys? You're right.
I
think
don't
I think
understand.
the NWA guys were looked at more of wrestlers and less entertainers, and Vince was trying to make wrestling more entertainment.
And I don't
so
think
I think
he
that's
liked
wdon't
Southerners
treated those
too much
guys that
either.
way.
Oh well, that's a fact. Yeah,
But I don't
that's
think
true.
he could have
That's
done
true.
that to Flair whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
Flair, he couldn't come in as anybody but Ric. I think Ric Flair was probably the first person.
Ric
to come
Flair
in
is
without
also
a gimmick.
a Minnesota guy too. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a South.
You're
guy.
right. Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Well,
Good point.
and he ran with Perfect when he came.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another-
Well, Minnesota.
But
oh,
he's the only
boy.
one that didn't come in with a different gimmick. He came in as Nature Boy Ric Flair. He didn't come in as like the $1 Million Man Ric
It's true.
Flair. He
Yeah.
came in as the Nature Boy Ric
a
Flair.
good
Well, and I'll say this too: Junkyard Dog, one of the most over.
He was
Of
over
all time.
Yeah,
Buried
all
him.
time.
Yep.
everywhere.
Boy,
he
did
went.
y'all see? Was it this promo? Did you see the promo he cut on this one? He was on one, boy.
Yeah.
he was on one, son. I love Junkyard
Man,
Dog.
Oh, yeah, man.
I remember.
and booted.
I
That's
met
one
him
of
at the
my dad-
Municipal
that's-
Auditorium when I was a kid.
That's
and
one
that
of
was
my
the
dad's
first
favorite.
time as a kid I realized people can be on drugs. Man, I mean, like he was so over at this event I was at, but I could see it in his eyes. He was gone.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
we was at a TNA show.
Dunk was
at-
hitting that bump.
we went to a TNA show. It was a TNA house show at the fairgrounds, and there was a very, very popular former WWE champion that wrestled in TNA that was behind the fairgrounds smoking crack.
Oh God.
Hell
Like-
yeah.
Well, I was back there because my buddy was enhancement talent, so we were back there like just chatting it up, and he was back there getting loaded.
boy.
And
That's
I was
wrestling
like,
for
whoa.
you.
And then he held a special interview. He held a special after like the thing was over. He did a special in-ring autograph signing where you had to pay extra money to go in and sign autographs with him. I've never looked at this guy the same way since then.
Who was it?
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, I
Oh,
know we're
wow.
gonna mention
Probably
him.
back there with Brian Christopher got
Dog,
arrested
he was
so
back there
much.
getting loaded, and this was
That's
Smoking
unfortunate.
crack?
yes,
Yep.
dog. This was during the. This was
man,
actually
no.
during the Immortal TNA phase. So
Yikes.
this was like when he was at his worst, probably.
He's also
What
the
year was that?
nicest.
2012.
Yeah.
He's the nicest wrestler I've ever met.
Dude,
in
I'm
person.
telling you,
Yeah.
he's super like. But he got in the ring and he was a jerk to some people. But
Wow.
There's that whole thing with Sting where he didn't even make it to the ring that one.
I'll never forget
But
But
that.
now, granted, give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems to be in the right head.
He's always owned up to his.
Yes, he
mistakes.
always has. Yeah,
Well,
that hurt me to see.
that sucks.
can only
man. I didn't know
imagine.
it was. I know he was. I know he like.
He's
taking
the
pills and
nicest
stuff,
wrestler I've ever met
Yeah.
in
I
person.
wish you wouldn't ask now.
but- Well, I know everybody. I wanted to.
Him
know
and Randy
that.
Orton. Randy Orton's the second nicest wrestler I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Junkyard Dog got buried in the middle.
Yeah, they buried the fuck out of Junkyard
Black.
Dog. Yeah, and it was a loser
Yeah.
must
Shot clear my
bow.
throat.
Say it for
y'all.
the people in the back.
4 minutes long, and then they moved to the next one. Now this next one,
Oh God.
you got the Dream Team, right?
Original
Greg
name.
Valentine and Brutus Beefcake.
Not the barber yet, though.
No, and they
the Barber,
also
right
they-
before,
that
yeah.
wasn't it. They also had Johnny Valiant and Dino Bravo, so 4 of them motherfuckers. And they took 4 of them motherfuckers to go out there and beat the goddamn Rougeau brothers. Jacques and fucking Raymond Rougeau.
The Jacques, the
I
Rougeau
mean-
brothers didn't even get an entry. They were automatically like in the
They were
ring
already
after.
in there.
You know,
man.
one of them Rougeau's behind the scenes though. He put them hands on Dynamite Kid.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it was like, he had a little help.
Back-
Isn't
but-
one of
I
those
think
guys
it was
still
the
wrestling?
Oh,
It
that's
was.
Jock.
Yeah, it was the Mountie.
Who's that PCO guy
Yeah, that's the
from the 90s?
Pierre,
yeah,
yeah.
he's still wrestling.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
looks like he climbed up out of a grave.
He looks like Frankenstein.
Literally,
He looks
yeah.
like a real life Frankenstein.
I'm sorry, his body moves anymore.
It doesn't. He's just like this. He's
Yeah.
like Frankenstein.
John Pierre Lafitte.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But this match was, I mean, it wasn't any count. Obviously, it was 4 minutes long. That's just kind of what they did. It was all about 2 matches.
This was Brutus. This was Brutus trying to turn face, though.
Yeah, this
he-
was before he was the barber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually became the barber.
Later on,
later on.
Later
a
on
match
that night.
later. A match later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a match later, he becomes the barber.
Yeah, you got super over Roddy Piper against Adrian Adonis in pink underwear.
Dude, was not a good look.
It was a lot to look at.
Not a
I mean,
good
I'll
look.
like I said, I'll say it again. Like Adrian Adonis is a great worker.
He is.
Always
Oh, for
was.
sure.
Yeah.
But when he made that character change, like that was so out of character for that time,
Oh,
right?
1000%.
It was always looked down upon, especially in the wrestling business. And I kind of feel like it may have came from Pat. Like
Yeah.
Pat in the
I've thought
closet.
about that.
I kind of
Yeah.
think it came from Pat. But I said this: Adrian Adonis, he walked so Goldust could run, because what they both of them did with that character really set a precedent going forward. Like Dustin Rhodes, straight male, playing that character the way he did without any hesitation was because of what Adrian Adonis did during WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, and I will say that wasn't up until this point. The Piper Adonis match was entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
It
loved it
was
as a kid. loved
so,
it as
the
a-
crowd
yeah.
was so into that.
Dude,
Oh, dude.
Piper.
And you
that
had Jimmy
pop-
Hart out there too.
Yeah.
It's the first time you see
Yeah,
Jimmy.
and Jimmy put in, like I said, Jimmy put in work.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy took his typical. He takes that typical coming off the turnbuckle. Somebody either presses him or throws him into somebody. Just constantly running around the ring. That dude
Yeah.
gets his steps in.
And this was billed as Piper's retirement
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
left for a couple
He was
years
making
after
movies.
That.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's when they.
Is that the I'm all out of bubble gum?
Yeah, they
Had
live-
to kick ass and
they-
chew bubble
yeah.
gum and I'm all
Yeah.
out of bubble gum.
Yeah, Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell comes from
He's so good.
Yeah.
But man, that pop when he comes out with the bagpipes playing,
And he
shit.
was so over.
and
that.
he was the first one to actually walk to the ring in
Yeah.
the pay per view
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So-
and they. This is what she was just saying too. That's when Brutus came out there to cut Adrian's hair, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
He-
after
and the
Piper won.
the big hedge clippers
Yep.
for the first time and everything.
But dude, the main event of this is this next match because you get motherfucking Danny Davis, the honorary inductee to the Hart Foundation.
Bro.
Yeah, Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation, which was Brett and Jim Neidhart, and Jimmy Hart comes back out again the next match.
I
And
think
a
he just
di-
stayed
and
at
a
the
wardrobe
curtain. I think he
change.
just
Yeah.
stayed at the curtain.
And he had a wardrobe
did
change.
he?
He went from a black suit to a white suit for this match
And
because they had some interview segment
Putting
in
in
between.
that work.
But in that
And
word-
you had they were squaring off against Tito Santana and the British Bulldogs, which is Davey Boy and Dynamite Kid. Another 6-man tag. So you had a 6-man tag earlier with King Kong and the Little Fellas versus
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim and the Little Fellas, and now you got another 6-man tag.
And Tito was laying in some potatoes in this match, bro.
Tito was letting them rip.
But like the Hart Foundation.
That's what
He
Jesse
was
Ventura
letting
always
them
called him.
rip,
But
bro.
for Brett to be the technician that he is, like they looked rough back then.
He still
This
wasn't
was
there
still
yet.
early on. Hart.
Yeah.
This is 87.
Yeah,
so
early
this is
Bret Hart
on.
was
like
the guy.
Jim the Animal Neidhart was like
Dynamite
he
Kid
stiff.
was that.
I was
one
never.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
never.
of the Canadians back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've never been an Anvil fan.
No.
It was just a brute.
I mean, I get it that their chemistry worked, but it just looked stiff the whole match.
It's crazy.
I love some I love some Hart Foundation tag matches a couple years after
Early
this.
90s?
In the
Yeah,
early
yeah.
90s, they-
Yeah.
they were.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Them-
I loved the tag titles swapping around so much. They had great teams in, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic teams, yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, Dynamite Kid was something special. I mean, in
Man,
the
he
ring.
would never got hurt, man.
Yeah, and of course the Hart Foundation. Danny Davis won that one. It was about 9 minutes long. It was an okay. It wasn't bad.
So
but
one thing about Danny Davis, he was suspended for life plus 10 years for his tactics as a referee.
that's what they said.
That's what they said. 10
He got
years.
life. He got life plus 10. They're like, well, you can't wrestle. Well, you can wrestle. You just can't wrestle.
Okay, referee.
Oh man.
The stuff they used to say,
And his chest, he had the.
bro. The next one was a barn burner. Butch Reed versus Coco motherfucking Beware, son.
Oh man.
And Butch Reed had the goat with him. Who? Dr. South.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. I love Slick. Man.
Jive Soul Bro, man.
Love Slick.
if I went and looked at all the appearances Coco Beware had at WrestleMania, I bet none of the matches he was in lasted 5 minutes.
Never does.
Total. Well, I mean, yeah, like each.
And he's actually a good wrestler too.
I love
without
Coco.
a doubt.
I love Coco Beware.
Yeah.
Bro. He's really good, but like he's another one.
Yeah.
That put on that. Had to put on that weird gimmick.
Yeah.
It was just about the fans, and I'm sure he did really well with merch and all that.
Yeah.
But like he was a joke, man.
Yeah.
He was a jobber.
Running around
Poor
with
Frankie.
a big old
Butch
hair.
Reed won in like 3
Poor
minutes.
Frankie.
No, man.
I like-
it makes me sad, man, because how Frankie died in real life, man. It was heartbreaking, man.
Wait, I don't know this
Oh,
story.
man. Are we going to hear another sad story on this episode?
Man, that like he got like their house burned down, man, and Frankie
Oh,
was
yeah.
like screaming for like help, and he died. And,
That's
like,
right.
That was
Yeah.
so
Man,
sad.
that's terrible.
I heard Coco talking about that on the
R.I.P.
podcast one
Frankie.
time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they lived. If those birds, they lived to be over 60 years old.
Yeah,
they
they
literally
live
lived
a
their
while.
entire life. Which he cried on that podcast. Man, it made me
Yep.
sad,
That's
man.
awful.
Dude, that's terrible.
That's that R.P. Frankie, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man. Frankie Beware, man.
Man, put up a good
Frankie
picture
Beware.
of Frankie.
I love Frankie, man.
Put up a damn
Frankie
good
Beware,
picture.
baby.
We'll make
Hold
Frankie
on.
Frankie.
In the
Did,
arms
did
of
Coco Beware have a life insurance policy on that bird?
You probably
Because
didn't
that
think
might
about
have
it back
been
then.
that might have been some shenanigans going on with that.
Don't you dare smudge the good name of
think
Coco
so.
Beware.
Oh, you think it was a
think so.
plot that took out Frankie?
Don't
think
you
so.
dare.
He cried on the podcast.
Oh,
Chance.
no, it was
Hey.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, R.P. Frankie. Don't listen to Chance.
Y'all know Chance. He gonna throw a left.
He gonna
curveball.
throw that heat in there.
Dude, so the next match was the only really, really good, one of the greatest matches ever.
Of all
All time.
time, yeah.
Let's
Very
talk
well
about it.
Yeah, Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man Randy Savage. Of course, Ricky Steamboat had George the Animal with him. Macho Man had Elizabeth with him.
Another wrestler over at the
Yeah,
time.
I see Intercontinental title match.
Well, I got a very unpopular take because I mean,
boy.
going back and watching some of this old wrestling from the '90s and the WCW stuff, I'm starting to put Macho Man in the same category I put Hogan. Because
I'm probably gonna agree with you. Go ahead.
because of he 9 times out of 10 a lot of times went in business for himself. And if it didn't work, it wasn't going to work. And he would manipulate his way through business to get what he wanted out of it. Think about that. During that time, how many people were world champion outside of Hogan? Think about it.
Macho.
Macho, Warrior. That's it. Who else?
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Slaughter.
He was the end of that.
Toward the end of that whole thing.
Yeah.
But they did that. Why?
Undertaker for 10 minutes.
Because they wanted to build up Hogan to take the title off of him. Like
Yep.
it's all, but Macho Man was the only one who got a decent run, and it even happened after the fact for the most part. He had the IC title for a long time, but then it got to where as Hogan was kind of filtering out, Savage got a little run, but then Flair took it from him, and like I'm starting to put him in the same category I put Hogan.
Well, that was the Intercontinental Champion match. Steamboat won that.
Yes, great match.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal match.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have an even bigger run.
Yeah.
And then he decided he wanted to take some family time off, so that's why he got
He was
let
having
go.
like issues with his marriage
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
that.
that's why he went. He was over.
Yes.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm
My
not
reason
taking
for
anything
Savage-
away. I'm not taking anything away from him as a wrestler.
See,
And I
my
just,
stuff's a little different from Savage. It's level 10 crazy of being on edge from what you're female. I mean, being locked in the room.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That he was bored. I mean, no wonder why they didn't last.
Right.
I mean, he was batshit crazy.
was
So
psychotic,
even when he
yeah.
went to WCW, Flair even said it. Like Hogan and Savage beat him 6 times before they had another opponent. Said both of them beat me 6 times before they had another reputable opponent. So like I feel like it's just Savage probably always seen himself as an equal to Hogan in some aspect, and he wanted to be the next one. And even Vince, like he goes on Raw and tells Savage, we wish you the best and da da da. He did that live.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's down in Georgia.
Yep.
I just feel.
I mean, Piper would throw Piper in that same category. I mean, Piper kind of did his own thing.
I just don't
Savage
think
did his own
Piper.
thing.
I don't think they looked at Piper
He wouldn't allow you to pin him though.
exactly. Yeah, I see that, and I don't.
Yeah.
But I think Hogan and Savage. I think their star power was far greater than Piper's in Vince's eyes, and that's why Piper's like, all right, I'm out for 2 years, I'm gone. But I'm starting to see Savage in the same light I see Hogan, and for what you said, just puts it over
That's
the
the
top.
that's the for me.
Puts it over the top.
Well, I mean, I could see with that being a reality.
You
But
have
just
lust
this
in
match
your
especially.
ass, Hogan.
Oh, it's one of the greatest matches ever.
Yeah, it's one
They-
from
they
a technical
did-
standpoint.
They did something with this match that's kind of common now, but back then they just didn't do. They rehearsed the match for
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
they
long
talked about
time.
how crazy like strict Macho Man was on like Ricky Steamboat talked about it. About how much he wanted him to practice and everything had to be
Everything.
perfect.
I'm gonna put Ricky Steamboat in the same category I got Daniel LaRusso. Two motherfuckers that can't do a damn lick of karate, and they're like, all his martial artists he didn't do
He doesn't
anything.
chop.
He does that chop.
Yeah.
He goes like that.
That's it. Him and Daniel LaRusso, two worst of all time.
I tell you what, what I loved about Ricky Steamboat. I like Ricky Steamboat's WC or NWA run far greater than WWE, but I do like when he got up there and spit fire. I thought that
Oh
was
yeah,
cool.
No,
I
I
like
like-
when he came out with the
But
dragon.
yeah.
head
but
and
see,
everything.
that's another thing. That's Vince making him like a cartoony character
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
of like the dope character that was wrestling Flair on them $60 or 60-minute
60
Broadway.
minute
matches.
matches.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what sucked about. But I get it because it was different.
Yeah.
NWA, WCW was
But
different.
he
than
could have got a
WWE.
work. The gimmick he got wasn't terrible.
I like.
Could have been worse. Could
I
have been
like
far worse.
that. Ricky, that for me, that era, the WrestleMania 3 era.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
back and like look up like promos and stuff he did. And
Well, the
it
stuff
was
that he had with
pretty
Jake
special,
Roberts.
actually.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Jake almost killed him with the DDT on
Yeah.
the
He really did hurt him.
pavement, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Great
this
team,
match
though.
is. I mean, this is
So
what.
good.
This is what I think about first when I hear WrestleMania 3. It's not
Yep.
the main event,
Yeah.
but outstanding. I'd say 10 out of 10.
Well,
There's
it's
very
probably
few.
the first time there was ever like an accidental success.
Yeah.
It's like Hogan.
Yeah, it
Andre
was just supposed to be a good
It
match.
wasn't no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one expected that to be like on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
But I mean,
And to finish
honestly,
with the
and
roll-up.
I think that is Partless Savage's craziness. Like he was going to make sure that his match was viewed in high regard compared to
But the
Hogan's.
dance partner he had was that. good,
Yeah,
too.
he had the perfect
I
dance
mean, he
partner.
can't do karate, but he's a really good wrestler.
It just surprises me how that match fit. Like I said, a roll-up finish
Yeah.
For that match.
It wasn't
just
a thing back then.
That's how,
yeah.
that's how they did it back then. But
Yeah.
the next one was
It's
entertaining for what it was.
another finish the same way.
Yeah, you had Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart again against Jake Roberts, who had Alice Cooper with him.
What's y'all's favorite Alice Cooper song?
I couldn't tell you a damn thing.
He's the man behind the mask.
Whatever the one is on Wayne's World. Feeding my Frankenstein.
Friday the 13th
one I
Part 6 for me. Friday the 13th Part 6 soundtrack.
Yeah, we know Alice Cooper songs from soundtracks.
It's crazy that he said Friday the 13th Part 6.
Real specific.
Again, Jake was super over.
Oh, God, yeah.
Honky Tonk was super over as a
Yeah.
heel.
Yeah.
You know,
They
he
had
was
a
going back and
big-ass
forth with
Damien
Hogan
for
a
that
lot
one.
on them house shows.
That was a
And
big
Honky Tonk
statement.
Man's another one that took a cheesy gimmick and really made money.
Oh, yeah.
Made
Yeah.
money.
He might
held
be
that
my,
IC
he might be
title
my
a long
least favorite
time.
wrestler of all time.
Really?
He's awful.
I hate his guts.
Yeah.
I hate him.
He was. I'm not gonna say it. 'cause
Go ahead, say it. Say it.
He was like the Miz in the '80s.
Yeah.
No, no.
The '80s Miz. Like he was always around. He always was, and everybody hated him. He lived the gimmick good. Miz obviously wrestles way better.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about from a character
Oh,
standpoint.
yeah, I agree with
Like,
that.
You
on
could
the
tell
hatred
He was a great heel.
You could
And
tell he
held
came
the
from Memphis.
Intercontinental belt for a long time, like the Miz.
He was a
did.
great
You
heel.
could tell he came from Memphis because he was very animated.
Yeah.
When he was the baby face was getting their licks in, he was very animated over the
Yeah,
top.
and then
Shout out over the top.
I did too, for sure. This next one, the fact that this is the match before one of the biggest matches in
Popcorn
WrestleMania history.
Popcorn match.
Yeah, popcorn match for sure. You had the Doctor Style back one more again, and for some reason he's managing the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. That makes no sense.
Against who?
Against the Killer Bees, Bra Blair and Jim Brunzell.
That's in Minnesota guys.
Yeah.
Killer
Oh, don't
Bees.
you know? Oh, you betcha, Minnesota.
And
That
Iron
gear for
Sheik
the-
hated Brian Blair. just YouTube search Iron Sheik.
Brian
Yeah.
Blair.
Who did Iron Sheik really like? Hacksaw Jim Duggan, that's it?
I think Hacksaw was his only buddy. Didn't they get pulled over together?
Yeah,
Yeah, broke
and-
kayfabe.
And Sean Oliver, the one that paid him for all those interviews. That's the only people he liked. Sean Oliver and his agent.
Hulk
and
Hogan.
I found some videos of him and New Jack. I think they were kind of pretty cool.
Oh, man, can you imagine?
the drugs them dudes did? R.I.P. to both of
I
them.
know. See.
Can you imagine that one, boy?
Hey, the Sheik's Twitter still hates Hulk
They
Hogan.
retweet
yeah.
all the retweets they still do of it. Yeah.
That's
You know
right.
what? If you look at that though, like probably Sheik was probably the biggest heel in the company at the time, right?
was up.
Who
Yeah,
would
he,
have
was,
been?
he was up there.
Him and Hillbilly Jim.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't
they-
have.
Honky Tonk Man.
I wouldn't have thought that. Like, I wouldn't have looked at Andre as a heel by no means. So I
'Cause he
think
wasn't.
Sheik.
He
Yeah,
just
Sheik would have
turned
been the
heel
biggest
right-
heel.
Yeah,
right before
right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So like,
Hold on.
I'll walk
She can
championship match.
Hulk Hogan.
Jesus.
That's so good. That's so good.
The Sheik and them won by DQ, but again, it was a 5-minute popcorn match, like Chance said. It was a way for everybody to go to the bathroom and get something
For
to
the
eat
main
before the main
event.
event.
It was like the
Can
kettle,
y'all, look,
kettle corn
can y'all
popcorn,
take
too.
that clip of E doing that and like make it look like Andre the Giant?
Probably. Shout out to AI. We've been really ramping up the AI intake on Over the Top.
Yeah, buddy.
This thumbnail's probably provided by AI. I was working on it before we got here. And now we're to the final match of the episode and of the WrestleMania. You got
Fuck this match.
Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant in the World Heavyweight title match. Obviously, Andre had Bobby Heenan with him.
Yep.
This match is so funny. This match was only 12 minutes long, and it felt like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, the pace, I mean, the people in the ring, it's going to feel slow.
And then you had the entrances. They slowed the cart down big time for Andre to get down there.
Yeah, and Andre was on his way out at this point. Not yet. I mean, he
Not
did
yet.
some stuff a couple years ago after this, but it was very limited.
Yeah, it was
on
very,
his
very
wrestling.
limited. Yeah.
In ring, this was probably. Would you say this was the end of Andre's in ring?
One of them, I mean, he fought him. He had a couple of more little feuds.
He had a little feud with Jake or
He
something.
did. He did the tag team, the Colossal Connection.
Wait, he won the title though. That was after
That was
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
3.
4.
Yeah, he won the title.
But it was
So-
like, I mean, these were like, you can count on one hand the amount of times you
Yeah.
wrestled per year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I hated about this match is that they billed it as the first time Andre had ever been slammed.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't even the first time that Hogan slammed Andre.
Exactly.
They said they just rewrite history, bro. They're just like, hell yeah, man. This is what
he
this
he
is.
got slammed in the greatest New York baseball field, Shea Stadium.
They play baseball there? They play baseball? I just thought they wasted money.
Shout out to the New York Mets, dude. Shout
I
out to
thought
the
they
Mets.
just wasted a lot of money.
Oh, now here we go.
Shout out Daryl Strawberry.
Shea Stadium back before. Back
Yeah,
when
so
Hogan
that was the first time I'd ever seen footage of Andre getting slammed. But I did some
Kamala
research.
slammed him too.
There you go.
Yep.
So there's some research. Like there's a list of wrestlers here.
Boy, if Andre, if YouTube and Google would have been a thing when Andre was
Right.
alive, I still think that son of a bitch is like 6'10".
So
wasn't much taller
Harley
than him.
Race slammed him.
Yeah, he sure did.
Antonio Inoki slammed him.
He did.
in
You're
Japan.
Right. He sure did.
Stan Hansen slammed
Oh,
him
you're
in
right.
Japan.
You're right.
And Jerry Lawler slammed him.
I ain't no Lawler.
Jerry Lawler slammed Andre
now-
the Giant. King of
yes.
Memphis, Chance. You
So
said
they
it, dude.
they say if Andre liked you, he would do that spot with you.
Imagine how
Hogan.
pathetic you got to be. You are like you slam
You
me.
can grab my balls and throw me.
If you big, I don't like you like
But
Big
to me,
John Studd.
Antonio Inoki is the only one that slammed him cleanly. Like it because Antonio
Kamala.
Inoki was a tall
I mean,
guy.
he's a
Kamala's
giant-
look good too.
Kamala, yeah.
Shout out Kamala.
Stan
Kamala's
Hansen didn't play no
underrated.
games neither though. Stan Hansen's one of them dudes who
Right.
just like did his thing.
He will
you
knock
know?
your in the dirt.
He'd always pretend like he couldn't see.
Yeah.
But as a,
Yeah. Yeah.
going back as a kid and watching WrestleMania 3, that entrance by Hogan though is just so iconic.
It is.
And
Also-
everything. And that promo with his do-rag in his mouth, that promo before the
He
match.
was a scary little bitch during that.
He
What
still
was it?
kissed
The
my ass.
irresistible.
thought
What's
Andre was gonna turn on him.
irresistible force meets the movable object. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the whole
I mean,
tagline. of
it's
that.
just.
He can still kiss my ass.
Yeah, oh yeah, most certainly. I still feel that way.
Yeah.
But as a kid watching that and everything, I mean, it was magical.
Oh, and
I always wish they would have used those rings again, though. That was something
The
iconic
cards.
you'll never forget. And they
Yeah.
use it on games and like little things, miscellaneous stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
But that was just something. But
the
outside
cards
of,
bringing them to the ring.
Yeah.
Some of those
Yeah.
rubber action figures came inside
Correct.
those rings
Yeah.
back
They
in the day.
They do them up to WrestleMania 6. They did them.
I
I
think
just
they
thought
ought to
that was
bring
so
it back
cool.
for Saturday Night Main Event.
yeah, that should bring them back. Be
That would be.
nostalgic. Yeah, I
I'm
think-
sure there's somebody's got them stashed somewhere in
Oh,
the
yeah,
warehouse.
there's-
Yeah,
But
for sure.
as a whole, like this match is an iconic match for what it is. But I mean, quality wise, obviously it's
Well, it changed the game. The
yeah,
face
it's
of
the
wrestling.
passing the torch to Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, and he never gave it back.
No, he was stingy.
He
enough
still
to-
has it. He still has it right now.
You just find out what day it is, and Hogan will tell you he weighed 822 pounds when
I
he
hate
slammed him.
I hate him.
Yeah, he's definitely got some.
Tall tales. Some
But-
tall tales.
This was one of the most, I mean,
I mean,
the
successful
pop-
manias.
When,
you know,
when
as
he
far as-
slams him, that pop, that cheer.
Which one? The one in his whole side? He said he tore his whole every muscle
Yeah.
in his side.
And then
Like,
when he drops the leg drop, I mean that pop. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Oh, man,
it's
what a
a
great-
magical pop.
What a great move.
Leg
as
drop.
a finisher, a leg drop. When it was used in multiple times earlier in matches.
It's
and
used by every wrestler in every single match since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
big
I hate
boot
him.
to the
I hate
leg
him.
drop.
I hate him.
it's like the hip toss.
I hate him. I hate him.
Hip top finish.
I hate him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So overall, what would y'all give WrestleMania 3?
It was,
Out of what, 5?
No, out of 10.
For the nostalgia of what it was, the biggest crowd of today, I'd say 7 or 8.
That's what I'd say. I'd say 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just off the two.
Yeah,
matches.
the 2 big matches.
Just
Yeah.
the whole, just like I said, the whole.
The atmosphere was great.
And that was
I
a
mean,
big gamble that changed the whole the whole trajectory of wrestling.
That's one of
Right.
the few times you see him get teary-eyed on that WrestleMania documentary. Vince
Yeah.
McMahon got teary-eyed talking about.
Yeah, 3 was a
WrestleMania.
game changer for sure.
It definitely was, man. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. We're gonna have another one of these coming down the pipeline either next week or the week after with another WrestleMania. But y'all comment below, let us know what y'all thought of the WrestleMania 3 and
Yeah, give us some ideas.
What other
for
ideas y'all
other
want?
pay-per-views y'all would like to for us to go through and everything. It could be
Yeah,
WCW,
we should do
ECW.
some of the Starcades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
List them down. Comment down below. Let us know what y'all want to hear us talk about. So, I think this is a good idea to run through for some episodes.
for sure.
I mean, it's constant content once again.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's easy.
Got that
It's easy
right.
to do. So we appreciate everybody, man. This is y'all be sure to hit the sponsors up: Trouble Spirits, Revolution One Media, the Gaggle of Wrestlers.
Gaggle.
Shout out to Icebreakers Duos.
Yeah, we out
And,
this
uh,
motherfucker.
Over the top with Chad and Tony, talking about movies and wrestling. On my chest, joins the team, hating on me. Gene, BJ the DJ keeps the party going.